Hi there, and welcome to another edition of the Gloucester City Diaries here on Busternet. And why am I looking at the Sky Bet Championship table? We're not there yet, but this is when my work actually starts. Unfortunately for me, it's starting a bit late. So next season, I'm heading into the championship. So what do? I check on clubs that have been promoted from the championship into the premiership. I go scout them out because they're the benchmark now, and this is to allow me to establish what my core attributes for the next season are going to be. I expand my scouting network. I also check on the wage budget that I have so that I know how much money I have available to me and how many players I can sign. It's very important to get a lot of this done by the 30th of June because on the 30th of June, clubs like in the Premiership now, clubs like Liverpool, Spurs, Bournemouth, West Ham, they're gonna all their loan players are gonna come back on the 30th of June. So you can actually go in on that date and make signings as well. So the 30th of June is a very important date for you to make a decision on who to sign, and you will need to take a look at your own staff. And if I know I'm gonna be in with a chance to get promoted, I start studying the table of the guys that get promoted from one league to the other. And I usually start that in March, but this season I wasn't sure that we were going to get promoted. We didn't have a very good start to the season. We only managed to pull in a really solid run of results after November. So our third at the turn of the year, by December we were top of the table, and then we surged off. We had one of those where we started the league in sixth, worked our way to fourth, stayed there for a while, and then come December we surged. And now it's time for me to start thinking about how we're gonna plan our assault on the Sky Bet Championship, and that work actually starts the season before. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at Everton, and I'm going to tell my scouts to go scout Everton and Sunderland. So these are the two teams that we're going to get scout. We're going to start getting the scouts to work on. So Patrick Anderson will be told to compile a report on Everton's first team squad, and Sunderland will also be scouted as well. And this is normally what I do with my scouts towards the end of the season. They will go out and scout these players out. There's a reason behind it. It's because I want to know where my team stacks up to them. These sides got promoted, so exactly what do I need in my players? How should I be looking at my transfer strategies towards the end of the season? The other thing I'm going to start looking out for is things like goal scorers. Now we here had Joe Danaher, who plays for Bristol City, scored 24 goals. And as you can see, Bristol City is over here. And furthermore, you got Oxford, Barry, and Burton. Now, Oxford, Barry, and Burton will be going down, and I also start scouting them as well, because you never know, but there could be players in that team that we could get our hands on. So our scouts are going to be hard at work. We know that in terms of purchases, we're not going to get many players. So we're going to have to be looking at strategies that involve loan signings. That's the trick now. However, we are also entering this league with a very bad reputation. Our our reputation isn't something that is going to strike other clubs or the other thing to bear in mind is can I use a loan strategy? Not really, because most of these clubs they're not going to loan me players, but there might be some chance that we could get our scouts to go to Europe. So I'm going to talk to my board and make a board request to increase the scouting range. And this having okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we've come to the point now where I start looking at wage budgets as well. Well, the board has only given me like 65% of the transfer revenue, which is not surprising since I've been pushing this financial thing really close to the wire all this way. And we might not have a lot of money, only a transfer budget of 506,000 that I can look at and maybe securing some players, and I will definitely be using this money. The other thing I want to bear in mind is that my wage budget is currently 47,526. We are, I'm gonna be very careful about who I sign now, Now, if I'm looking at my players through my squad, let's say if I look at Joe Hanks, and this is the point where I start looking at my contracts of my players and deciding who I can keep and who I can't keep. And furthermore, I need to be realistic. The vast majority of these players are not going into the championship with me, and this is going to be the toughest decision I have to make. Okay, so one of the things I like to do is I like to do comparison. So when my scouts have come in with a report from Skybet Championship, and these are all the numbers that I'm seeing. Finishing the highest in the championship is actually 15. We aren't anywhere near that. So in terms of jumping reach, we're looking at 11. For off the ball, we're looking at 14. And acceleration, we're looking at 13.5 for the attack. For mentals, we are looking at nothing less than 13 for most of these categories. So I need to get off the ball into a good position, and I need to look at 11 to 12 for mentals for my midfielders. For my midfielders, it'll all be 12, or as you can see, between the ranges of 12 to 13. That's where we have to aim for our midfielders. For our strikers, well, mentals, we have to make sure that we are competitive. Once again, the range is between 11 to 14. Defenders, physicals, well, we're looking at 13, nothing less than 13 for us in the Skybet Championship. So before we get in there, I already have a good idea of what I need to look for in my players. So 13 is going to be where we need to be in order for us to be competitive. Now, if I'm looking at my squad, then what I'm going to do for my squad is I start training players. So they're all going to be on quickness. Quite a large number of my players are going to be on quickness training, and some of my players will be on other aspects of their training where I hope that we can improve their game in the next couple of months before I get into the championship. At least I know where we stand. These are some of the things that I do, and then I start telling my scouts if I have range now, I can send them overseas. And as I can see now, we are now looking for midfielders that are higher. So we're not going to settle for 10 anymore. We are looking at 11s and 12s for most of my players. So we're looking for players that can be available for the next adventure that we want to embark upon. So I'm looking at key areas for my central midfielders, and they start scouting these players immediately. Scouting pool until full knowledge. We do the work now. Any unattached players at the moment are gonna be hot. So we want to get our scouts out. We want them to do the job, and we want to find players. So I will set up my filters right now. So I'm looking for central defenders as usual, because central defenders, well, I need them to have. I don't need them to have great decisions, but they need to have passing. Composure will be good. Strength, work rate, acceleration, bravery, and tackling. And we've got this whole bunch of defenders looking good. And we go out and we scout this group as well. So scouting pool until full knowledge. And then we have to be cognizant of the fact that our strikers, well, we need strikers as well. So let's drop composure. We have strength, work rate, acceleration. Forget bravery, forget tackling, and here we go. We have a whole bunch of strikers. And what I can do is add composure to the mix and change bravery to finishing, and we will see a new list emerge. So I'm looking for a striker that can pass the ball, has composure, strength, work rate, acceleration, and finishing. So only one player emerged, but you never know. Let's drop his passing to 11, and suddenly this list is going to get bigger. No, I was hoping quietly, but it didn't work, but it's okay. Alright, so strikers, we've got a few being scouted. Now we're decent in the left back department, and we might want to look for one more wing back. So here I'm looking at passing, composure, work rate, acceleration, forget finishing. We have passing, composure. Let's drop composure. Now we have passing. Let's drop it to 10. And at the moment there are no fullbacks out there. who can fit this. So I go through this list and I start looking for scouts. Sorry, I start looking for players that are available. And the other thing right now is I'll create a new assignment. I'll report from a region because that's as best as I can go. And we are going to send a scout to Southern Europe where the players tend to be a bit cheaper, I hope. Or better still, we'll send it to Eastern Europe. That's Russia, Central Europe is around here. Italy, Rome, Spain. I'm not going to get any players from there. Southern Europe is over here, and we shall go to Eastern Europe. Then Russia and these Slovakia and the rest of the region will inform the scout of what we want. We want current ability to be at least 1 star and potential ability to be 1 star. The other thing I'm gonna do is expand my scouting network. So I'm looking at my staff. I've got a lot of space now for scouts, and I've got more space now for coaches. I want to scout in the region. So here, it's not going to be easy if I stick to these scouts. So I don't want English scouts as much as I want foreign scouts now. Uh, so I got to remove adaptability. I have to remove determination, and now I'm going to have to remove judging player potential. And these are all the scouts that are available. So it's not ideal. These will all be EU nationals. Jose Vega, this is cool. We finally found a scout that is from Cape Verdean, wherever that is. And then I look at this scout and look at his knowledge. Another scout, but look at this: Poland, Czech, Latvia, Lithuania, Slovakia, England, Montenegro. No questions asked. I don't even know what your judging player ability is, but I want you. No, you're not. You're going to be a scout. You're going to be a scout. Come on, say yes. You're walking in with so much knowledge. Okay, you want 575 pounds? We'll, yes, yes, yes. We'll accept you for whatever you have to offer. But he's got all that knowledge. So our scouting knowledge after this will jump. Okay, so we've reached the 30th of June and we've made our changes. And now you notice that the players I've been scouting, a lot of the news has come back. Players are now been put on loan, and I can definitely start looking at some of these players to be brought into my side. I'm going to be very picky because I'm going to the championship, so I'm going to pick clubs that have decent loans available, and these will include West Ham. West Ham is a very good academy. Spurs. Bournemouth has a few players that aren't bad. Watford also have a few players that aren't bad. So I'm going to the traditional clubs where you probably could find a few decent players who are good. On top of that, remember we just expanded our scouting network. So now our knowledge has jumped to 12. And we've got 6 scouts in. And we continue to find new players right now. We just come to the 30th of June. This used to be empty. We're now looking for defensive midfielders as well that we can sign on a free. And the categories are still 10, 10, 12. And I'm looking basically at certain elements because usually I don't like to get too confused. I like to keep things simple. And you gotta check out Super Sub FM as well. He worked on this graphic based on the DNA I always talk about, and it's pretty easy. I mean, if you think about it this way. Now, if you want to looking for a midfielder who performs defensive duties, then combine midfield and defense. So you'll be looking at decisions, passing, pace, acceleration, position, anticipation, strength, pace, and acceleration. And if you have a few players, and then you're thinking about, okay, who do I pick? Then always pick the player with better work rate, determination, concentration, natural fitness. That's it. Now, teamwork isn't there. Why? Because teamwork is important for support duties and for transitions. That's very, very clear. However, sometimes you may not even want teamwork in some of the players because you might want them to focus on their jobs and their jobs alone. So if you're the kind of a team that you don't like everybody bombing forward, then think about teamwork and go like you put that to one side first. Focus on work rate because you want them to be working hard. So if you're into building a team like Wimbledon, the Crazy Gang, look at work rate. Work rate becomes a very, very important attribute along with determination. All right, time to zip into the future. We have let quite a few players go. As you can see on the list on the right, this is normal for me. Every season we have the same old story. Let quite a number of players go, and we bring in new players. And this has been a common pattern for me to get promoted. And yeah, quite a number. Jasper Singh is gone, so he's no longer going to be keeping, you know, standing between the posts for us. His reflex is just 9, not good enough. And we brought in quite a few players, and I've had to go and spend some money as well because the loan signings we only managed to sign one on loan. The rest on didn't want to play for us. Stephen Arthurbury, biggest signing from Bristol Rovers. We're hoping he's going to be better than what we have. Fabio Baldi, another one. Will de Havilland, another defender. So we've gotten a few defenders, and we fixed the problem that I had, which is we have no jumping reach with this guy. His jumping reach is 17. We also managed to snag Jerome Sinclair on loan. Not too bad. At least it's better than what we have. His stamina is a big question mark for me. We brought in Lanier Oyebanyo. We played against him, so we got him for 1 season on a free transfer. Josh Wright and Dale Bennett. So these are the players that we brought into the squad this season. Financially, well, I busted my budget, so there's nothing left in the kitty. Well, tactically, I have a plan. Anything that keeps us up. So I'm not going to go through my tactics. There's really no point. If you want to know why, look at the team comparison. Yep, we're sad. If I were to go here, it gets even worse. So let me just do a quick one like this, all right? Physicals, mentals. All right, we got strikers, then we got the midfielders, then we got the defenders, then we got the goalkeepers. Right, okay, not very good. Attack, strikers. So we're well off. And if we can keep our heads up, that'll be a fantastic thing. And looking at the Sky Bet Championship, how are we going to do that? Aston Villa still here, Blackburn still here, but Blackburn should be going down. Then we got who else is here? Cardiff, not a bad club. Derby, Fulham. Oh boy, Ipswich. They'll probably be here. Newcastle. Oh no. Then we got QPR who's still here and Wolverhampton Wanderers. And what about the season preview? Pew, there we go. Look at this. 1,000 to 1. There are like 5 clubs who are favorites to go down. This is going to be an interesting fight to the end. And if I can't win the first game of the season, I'm guaranteed to go down. And it'll be a first because I didn't use tools like to help me scout, and I didn't fudge with the wage budget. That's what I got, and this is the best I can do. So, yeah, I'm basically trying to get promoted with a championship or with a conference side that should in all likelihood be relegated, and this should be completely impossible. So I'm set for a phenomenal relegation battle for the first time ever on Championship Manager. I am so excited. So I hope you guys can catch up with me on the next show. I'd like to thank all my patrons for doing this to me. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I am still enjoying it, so it's okay. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me on Twitter at BusterNet and addicted2fm.com, my website. So you guys take care. I'm going to go get ready for the next match. Bye bye.